Thank you for tuning in to Canucks Network. As always, I'm Aidan Duggan.
And I'm Braeden Boyd.
And in today's episode, we are going to discuss the week that was, the press conference with all the, seismic quotes.
Yeah.
Best way to describe for Jim Rutherford.
Probably.
The Tanner Pearson situation that came up like immediately after we last recorded, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because we were like, hey, we haven't talked about him in months.
Yeah.
And, and then sure enough, bam. But we are going to start with the important news being the tragic passing of Gino Odjick at age 52.
Yeah. Yeah, so this happened on Sunday while the Canucks were in Carolina. It got announced in the second period.
Yep. Yeah.
Just before Bear scored, or was it just after?
It was like about 2 minutes before.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 2 minutes before. Because John Shorthouse announced it, and like it was weird because he like was talking normally with Cheech, and then like out of nowhere, just super somber, soft spoken, like,
wow,
I got tragic news to announce, blah 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 blah.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't hear this because I was listening on Sirius XM, which was Carolina's broadcast.
Yeah.
So like was it just like during play, or was it like
it was like
stoppage?
It was at a stoppage, but it was like not a commercial stoppage.
Oh, okay.
It was like, hey, we just hit an icing. We're going back, and like in that span of like 20 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, just somebody probably had a cue card in front of them.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's super sad, and especially like from what I've read and stuff, like I've read a few articles about it and stuff like that. It just like came out of nowhere. Like,
yeah.
I read that one of his like close friends, like they were going to go to the Canucks game tomorrow, which if you're listening on Wednesday tonight's game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, like they were planning on going and like all this stuff. And then they got the news and it was just like, what the hell? Like I was just making plans with this guy.
Yeah.
And,
well, there's going to definitely be a tribute in the Tampa Bay
for
game.
Sure. If there's not, I think there'd probably be another riot very easily.
Yeah. There'll be a tribute for sure.
But yeah, like it's crazy. Like obviously Gino was like a fighter. He was the enforcer, the grinder of the 90s and early 2000s, and he had the blood disease diagnosis in 2014 where it was like weeks to live, and he fought that and kept living for another 9 years.
We'll say 8 because it's just 2023 now. Yeah.
But yeah, like, yeah, do you want to
like when it comes to non legends per se, for the Canucks, Gino's up there, like might even be number 1 in the fan base when it comes to not the superstars or the okay, maybe Kirk McLean is number 1 in that tier, I guess. Yeah. And then Gino would be number 2.
Like I guess the best way to put it would be like guys who aren't jersey retired.
The guys that aren't jersey retired or here for the, how do we explain it? The award winners.
Okay.
The conversational guys, like
where there were like legitimately like a top 30, 50 player in the NHL.
Yeah, at some point in their life, right? Yeah. Like, so even like a Alexander McGillney wouldn't count in this, but like, was there for, like more than 5 years. Somebody that's considered like, that's a Canuck. When you think of him, he's a Canuck, but he's not the legend status. So Gino Odjick's almost like in the same like Jannik Hansen's of the guys that are there for that long. But he's like, I guess McLean and Bieksa are way up there too in that kind of tier, right? But Gino Odjick's way up there for just fan appreciation and undying fan love.
Yeah.
Just
crazy fan favorite.
Crazy fan favorite. You know, he didn't put up the points and so on, but he put in the heart and the soul stuff. Yeah. And
you touch Pavel or Linden or somebody, and he's gonna come out there and try to rip your head off.
Exactly. And obviously the guys in the '94 run are immortalized in the city, in the province, even though they didn't ultimately win. It was still a very important piece of British Columbia hockey history, and Gino's part of that. So, you know, was never a dick. He would always be there for the fans, sign autographs, do all that stuff, and be one of the few that would probably have a beer with you and everything. So
that's very true.
No, like very beloved Canuck that is in a different tier of fandom and love for the all that.
You won't see anybody on social media or like a reporter or whatever say a bad word about the guy.
No.
Which is like in Vancouver, especially hockey market, blah blah blah, like that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Like maybe only the Sedins are probably the other two that nobody would say a bad word about, but then even some people would be like, oh, they're not tough enough, blah blah blah. Whereas like Gino is just, everybody loved the guy.
Yeah. And Gino also, because he was an enforcer or definitely like fits the goon type.
Yeah.
Because that's almost virtually extinct in the NHL now.
Yeah.
It's that bygone era of nostalgia. That gets you there where you know it was pre-cap era, so you don't need to care about who got paid what, because that's all we analyze now is the contracts.
Absolutely.
Consistently, where it just doesn't matter back then. It was more about who shows up, gets a job done that their role is, and Gino's was that, and he did it well.
Yeah.
So
it's it's crazy. Like it's very rare, like just in any sport, where somebody can finish their playing days before like you even started following that sport. Like Gino retired in 2002. I was born in 98, so I was 4 years old. Never watched him play, at least that I remember of. Mm-hmm. And like I don't have any memories of him playing or whatever, but like I've met him, and like I remember in 2014 when he did get diagnosed, I also, like, my family went to like the vigil rally thing outside Vancouver General Hospital, and like he came out and stuff, like in the wheelchair, and like stood up and said like hi to everybody and all that stuff. Like it was really cool. And then I'll finish with this. I was at a Chalouse minor hockey school in Merritt, and it was run by Joe Quaisons, and I guess he had known Gino before, maybe played hockey with him when he was younger or something like that. And Gino actually came out for the final day of the hockey school. I don't think he came out on the ice, but it was like the last day, like lunch type of thing.
Yeah.
And he was there and took pictures, shaked hands, said hi to all the kids and everything. And I just remember he was just an absolute giant. And I was probably like 4'2", 8 or 9 years old, and like his hands like half the size of my body.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember like he was just nice, like really nice, polite. He actually, like some people or athletes or famous people, it's just kind of like they just say the shit just to say it.
Yeah.
But like it seemed like he actually kind of cared, like, oh, like what's
definitely,
your name?
Like he
and,
meant
all
it.
That stuff. Yeah. Which seems to fit the bill with what everybody else that's been sharing their Gino stories.
Yeah. So I'll ask you this: which of his two famous nicknames do you prefer? There's the Algonquin Assassin, or the Maniwaki Mauler.
Ooh, the Algonquin Assassin.
I like that one better
That's
too.
Sick.
That one I like better too.
Nowadays, the nicknames we hear are like Millsy, and
everything ends in SY essentially. Yeah.
Got to get back to those nicknames.
Yeah. Absolutely. Anything you want to add before we move on?
Nope. Just rest in peace, Gino.
Yeah, and Canucks win on the tribute night tomorrow. Today, if you're listening.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go into Tanner Pearson talks, which will lead into the press release or press conference that we'll get into.
Yeah.
So Tanner Pearson essentially announced that he is done for the rest of the season.
Yep.
Needs more surgeries on his hand, and that there's been complications due to error of the medical staff, essentially.
Yep.
And that this might be career-ending injury, and that he will probably miss at a bare minimum of a bunch of next season as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not what any fan was expecting to hear. Like, I think I speak for both of us last week when we were just like, what the hell happened with Tanny Pearson? Like, it was like half-heartedly, like, not...
I totally forgot like about him until I looked at the under-overs. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, like, Pearson. Oh, there he is. Yeah, this was not anything that was expected.
No.
Like, the poor dude is... Like, his career might be done.
Yeah.
Because, let's say he returns halfway through next season and maybe doesn't get into a whole bunch of games or whatever, and then... Like that could be everything right there.
Yeah. And he doesn't have that much left on the contract.
No.
So it's not like his family is solidified
yeah.
for say 3-4 years left on the money that he'll still get through LTIR. It's a year and a half.
Yeah.
So
and he's dealing with like infections. Like he's got some nasty infections going on, which like that is something you definitely do not want with surgery.
So, like, I imagine it's something in the muscle
probably
that's hindering, like, you know,
growth and regrowth or whatever.
Something, yeah, and mobility, right?
But I was listening to some shows today, and one thing that got brought up that I never thought of: do the Vancouver Canucks just have like the worst hand specialist in the league? Because like last year, Brock Besser injured his hand.
Yeah.
Even the start of this year, PD hand wrist.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
just need a new hand specialist.
Yeah, like,
some doctor. Yeah,
we need the hand whisperer.
Yeah, and now the NHLPA is getting involved. Yep. So there's going to be a lawsuit, maybe compensation, maybe something, investigation into what went wrong.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good look.
So I wonder if it's like this was a botch by the team. Or if this was just a true fluke injury type thing that's just developing worse when it normally doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's tough to say if it was like the team doctors like suggested some surgery and it just was not the right one.
Yeah.
Like I could see that maybe being the case, but yeah, like I don't know, it's
or the surgeon did something wrong.
Or that. But like for this to be like a big case where the NHLPA is getting involved and stuff, like I feel like it might have to be something where it's actually the Canucks that fucked up on it.
If the PAs get involved, I would say yes.
Yeah, which that's not good, especially because I believe Rutherford over the summer brought in his own medical staff. Not exactly the way you want that to get started.
No. And speaking of Rutherford, we'll lean into his press conference that was supposed to be just about the Tanner Pearson stuff.
Yep.
But then turned into a lot more based on all the rumors flying around and everything.
Yep.
So where do you want to start with on the press release, the press conference?
So I missed the first bit when he was actually talking about Pearson, but I guess he had two doctors up there. Side by side on either side of him where they kind of were answering all the medical questions. Once it finished the Tanner Pearson stuff and it came to like general media questions, he got peppered. Yeah. It was question after question after question. And it got to the point where like a part of me kind of felt bad for him. But at the same time, like you're in a Canadian market, you and your front office speak once every 4 months.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Well, whether it's the Rick Tocchet stuff.
Yep.
Just
the coaching situation.
As well.
Yeah.
The what direction we're going.
Yep.
Oh, but we might want to tank this year, but we don't want to tank always or rebuild and this and that. Like, yeah, it was a lot of what lane are you picking?
Yeah.
At the same time.
Well, like it was like I respect the part where he was very honest. Like he said, I'm disappointed in the job I've done.
Yeah, agreed. I like that.
I don't think there's anybody in the league that would say that. And I don't know. I respect it just because we got out of the whole Jim Benning where it's not my fault that this is happening.
Yeah.
Or
the Jim Benning, we live day by day here.
Yeah. Like it was either I literally have no solution or I'm pointing 10 fingers at 10 different people.
Yeah.
but yeah, like, and he broke down like all this stuff, all the questions of like, I thought we could just get rid of these cap problems easier and like all this stuff. But then it's like, why did you double down on that by signing JT Miller, Mikheyev, Besser, and on and on. And it's just like, man, like